A simple interest I varies jointly with the principal amount P and the time of maturity in years T. Let the rate of interest R be constant as I is equal to 600 pesos when the principal amount is 10,000 pesos and time is for 6 years. What is the interest when the principal amount is 12,000 pesos and the time is 3 years? The topic on simple interest is actually an example of a joint variation. This is an example of a joint variation because the interest is affected by two other variables. We call it the principal amount and the time of maturity. Since in this problem we are treating the interest as the constant. And with that, both of them are probably forming like a direct variation because there's no statement that principal or the rate or the amount or the time in years rather is inverse. So this is now clear to be a joint variation where, as mentioned, I or the interest is our dependent variable and the principal amount and the time in years are your independent variable. One of the sample formula for our joint variation is given as y is equal to k. We could use here x and another variable z. This is an indication where the y or your dependent variable is based or will refer to what is the value of these two variables here, x and z. And of course, k is our constant of variation or the constant of proportionality. In this case, let us try to come up with an equivalent equation that will be equivalent to the problem. And since I, the interest is our dependent variable, this is dependent to, of course, there's always k. But our k here later would be r, okay, because it's what is said to be constant. Let's just coin it k in the meantime so that we will be guided with that. And multiplied with P as your principal amount and T our time in years. Actually, the formal formula is given as I is equal to the product of the principal amount, the rate, and the interest. This is our constant of variation for this problem here. That's why I'm just labeling it K. Don't worry about that because we will be solving K first or that's R, yeah. We will be applying that for the next situation. So here, let us try to place here our values. So we would have P, R. Let's have, or sorry, that's not R. That's T because R would be K here. And we'll have here interest. So that I is our dependent variable depending on the values here. The first given is that interest is 600 pesos without the units first when the principal amount is 10,000. Let me move here time so that we could probably place here the values. And the time is given to as 6 years. That's the given here. So we will be using this to solve for the rate. That's the rate of interest or the K in this formula. And we'll be using that K again or the rate of interest to solve the unknown. What is the interest? Okay. When the principal amount is 12,000 and the time is in 3 years. So let's use this set of values first for this formula. So we'll have here 600, that's your interest, is equal to K. Again, that's your rate of interest, but we're labeling it K, times the principal amount, times 10,000 times 6. So we'll multiply this. You will have 600 is equal to 60,000. And then you will have here your K. We'll divide both sides by 60,000 to cancel this out. And of course, you're also dividing this by 60,000. So remove 0. That's 1 over 100. The value of your K is 0.01. or in form of interest, this is 1%. Okay, 1%. Yeah, but then again, we're not asked about the interest. We'll be using this to solve for the unknown, the interest. So using the same formula here, I is equal to the product of your interest or your K, 0.01 times your new principal amount, that's 12,000 times 3 years given here. So the interest is just a product of all of this. So you have 36, then we remove 2 zeros here because we will be moving the decimal places. So you will have here 360. So this is the interest out from this result. In short, in statement form, you could say the interest for 12,000 pesos. Okay, let's label it pesos. For in 3 years is 360 pesos. So again, the interest or the problem on interest is an example of a joint variation. And this ends this problem. The more you practice, the better the chance to understand math. This is a direct variation statement for math success. Let this K, the constant of variation, be this channel. In other words, the more you practice with your subscription, the better the chance to understand math. Subscribe now.